General Ogolla was killed. His death is shrouded in mystery. His children spoke a bunch of rubbish.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I hope you're well from wherever you're watching this channel. Now, Miguna has refused to let go this issue of the late CDF Francis Ogolla. But in his response to what is going on regarding the investigation and regarding the story of Francis Ogolla, Miguna thinks that Joel Ogolla was not right to make the remarks or the comments which he made during the burial ceremony of the late CDF Francis Ogolla.
Joel, his son, complete rubbish. You know? You cannot say, and this one speaking even as a Luo, you cannot say there is any Luo man who says, bury me within 72 hours, bury me naked, don't eat at my funeral.
Miguna seems to be saying that the death of late CDF Ogolla could have been because of someone's hand. Or maybe it could have been not because of someone's hand. So he differs with Joel's comments, saying that there is no need to do an investigation because even if you do an investigation, nothing will bring back Ogolla. So I want us to go into this statement that Miguna has shared regarding the take of the late CDF's son, talking about Joel, what Joel said during that burial of his father. But before you do that, please like this video because that is the only way you support our work. And if you're not subscribed before, please subscribe to our channel. And to existing subscribers, thank you so much for making this channel grow. Miguna did not take the words of Joel lightly. In fact, according to Miguna, the words from Joel Ogolla were misplaced. In fact, according to Miguna, Joel would have just shut up and not said or uttered a word. In fact,
I mean, it would be responsible for me to declare that General Ogolla was killed. His death is shrouded in mystery. His children spoke a bunch of rubbish. Don't know what he was talking about. Joel, his son, complete rubbish. You know? You cannot say, and this one speaking even as a Luo, you cannot say there is any Luo man who says, bury me within 72 hours, bury me naked, don't eat at my funeral. What rubbish is that? Where was this boy raised? He has no authority to speak about the burial of his father, traditionally. He should have kept quiet and gone back to Nairobi. Yeah. And there is no way that as a son you can rule your father's death as accidental. Was he there? Let this thing be investigated professionally. I don't like the fact that the military are investigating it. Because what if he was killed by a fellow military man? What if his deputy killed him? What if other military people killed him? What if the thugs killed him and the military want to cover it? All these questions, there should be no question that cannot be asked. We need to ask all the questions.
And they all need answers.
And they all need answers.
That are verifiable.
Correct. So there is absolutely no issue. I cannot say to anybody, even my enemy, that they die under the circumstances that General Ogolla died and that nobody should ask questions. This silly thing that, oh, asking questions will not bring him back to life. What nonsense is that? It will prevent another death if it was caused. You understand? Or if it was negligence, we would be able to prevent another negligent death. Why not?
Sure.
A human being is not a dog. They cannot die just like that. And generals do not just fall from the air.
That's also true.
So we have to ask about all these questions because a CDF is secured just like a president. Where was the evacuation team? Where was the evacuation strategy? Where was the rescue strategy? Where were the helicopters? Do you understand my point? So why should we not ask them? If in fact, as people are speculating, the plane or the helicopter was changed in the morning, who did? Ultimately, who gained out of the death?
Miguna goes further to say he is not pleased with the fact that there was that part that Joel said about burial within 72 hours, burial without clothes. Those are not things which Miguna liked.
Your Excellency, as you know, Jesus himself, how he was buried, he was wrapped in a sheet and put in a tomb. Right now, Mzee is wearing the uniform he donned for number 1 functions, but tomorrow we'll be wrapping him in the sheets, we'll extract him from the casket and lay him in the ground so that he can return to us dust as quickly as possible.
So that explains why there was that kind of reaction during the long interview on Miguna. The interview lasted for almost 2 hours. But I managed to pick that part where Miguna talks harshly about Joel. Mind you, Joel has been receiving a lot of backlash from Kenyans, especially after he attempted to downplay this move of having investigations on the CDF. Mind you, the Kenyans have said, and so many Kenyans have said, unless this investigation is done by a neutral body, nothing conclusive will come out of it. In fact, Kenyans will not. There is a time Miguna said, unless people like Maraga, people like, Tonje, are involved in this investigation, nothing constructive will come out of it. Because in his attacks this time round, it asks, what if there is someone what if his deputy is responsible? What if someone within the military was responsible? And then you give the same people mandate of investigating this crash. Don't you think a report that will come out of that investigation will be compromised? This is what Miguna is trying to tell Kenyans, ladies and gentlemen. And I believe you've heard from the video I shared what Miguna said. And he was very, very spot on in this. Very categorical that investigations must be done. So in my own perspective, I think what Miguna is trying to say is that we cannot rule out assassination attempt. And Miguna knows very well that this blame has been put squarely on William Ruto. So as to why he is also pushing for this, something that Raila also pushed for, Oburu Odinga pushed for, so many other Kenyans have been pushing for, as to why he is also pushing for, when we know that he supports William Ruto, is still something that's bothering so many people. And I believe that going forward, Miguna and the government of William Ruto will not be on the same page. That is what I see, ladies and gentlemen. That is what I see with this old drama. Miguna will not have it rosy here with this regime. Remember what Miguna faced when he constantly attacked Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta's government. And there's no ruling out the fact that when he was forcefully removed from Kenya, Ruto and Uhuru were still, in good terms. We can't say that, but that time they were not in good terms. So Raila, so Miguna should be very careful, because what if William Ruto was part of those people made a decision to have him deported, forcefully deported? What if Ruto also does that? What if they wait for him to go to Canada and then put a red alert on his passport or on his travels, so that he cannot travel, just like what it was done previously? Because there was a red alert on him which barred him from traveling until that mark had to be removed from Miguna's, I think, travel account. That is the time he was allowed to travel, when that red alert was removed. What if the government of William Ruto decides that this man has gone back to his days of attacking the government recklessly? So what should we do? We should just put a red alert on his travel, so that he cannot travel back to Kenya, just like what the Uhuru government, it's alleged that it did. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you make of this statement from Miguna? Because Miguna is telling Joel that you ought to have shut up. You ought to have stayed. You ought to not to have even made a comment, that you made some very disturbing comment. Those are Miguna's words, ladies and gentlemen. So perhaps if you watch this video and not subscribe, please take 1 second and subscribe, like this video. Until you catch up again, stay safe and stay blessed.